Hi friends, my name is JP Rainsford with Rainsford Photography, and today I'm so excited to share with you an interview that I did with Katie Williams with Katie Williams Events. Now, if you don't know Katie Williams, she is a fantastic wedding planner here in Greenville, South Carolina, and today I'm talking to her all about COVID-19, how it's affected the wedding industry, but more important, how it's affected her clients. She has done a fantastic job of stepping towards not only her couples, but the vendors in response to everything that has happened with COVID-19. I'm so excited to share with you all the things that I'm learning alongside with Katie in the ways that they are benefiting not only the wedding industry, but the small business owners as well. If you have questions about anything in this interview, please feel free to leave a comment or email us at rainsfordphotography@gmail.com. And without further ado, I hope you enjoy this interview with Katie Williams and I. Have a great day. Hey, Katie, I'm glad you're with us today. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, you're so welcome. Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
you're welcome. You're welcome. So I know you really well, but could you introduce yourself? What do you do? Where do you live? What is your business?
Yeah, well, I'm Katie Williams. I live here in Greenville. I am the owner and principal planner of Katie Williams Events. We primarily plan just weddings. In the future, down the road, we'll probably expand to other private events and corporate events. But right now, we are all about weddings. That's what we do day in and day out. So,
Yes, and you do
yeah,
a fantastic job.
thank you.
You're so welcome. How long have you been in the wedding industry?
So we've been doing weddings for the last 4 years. Prior to that, I was in my major in college was political science, and I got my start in events in general in kind of a weird way. It was with fundraisers and things like that
Oh, fun.
for
Yeah.
political campaigns.
Oh, wow.
So that's definitely an interesting breed of people to deal with. So kind of builds a thick skin. Uh,
Yes.
but from that on, then I really kind of honed in on like project management and things like that. So really mastering the organizational skills and leading the
Mm.
team. But it wasn't until I started planning my own wedding that I was like, I just love everything about weddings. So romantic and it's so exciting and it's just such an enjoyable time in your life. So since that was something I loved doing and just it wasn't stressful for me, it was fun for me.
Mm.
We just kind of jumped right in. I just quit my job, just jumped right in. I didn't even
Wow.
think. My dad's an entrepreneur, and he gave me that advice. And for that advice to come from my dad, who is like uses a coupon and is like really good on the budget,
Yeah, yeah.
he told me to quit my job and jump in. Then I knew that was the right thing to do, and I've never looked back. Never.
That's awesome. One day I need to interview you on how all of that began because I know a lot of people are like, how do I go from my day job to a full-time entrepreneurial job?
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear that story one day. That's fascinating. And what year did you get married?
So we got married in 2017. So
Okay.
we were engaged for a year. So we started planning in 2016. About halfway through that is when I put my website together and
Wow.
I was like, we're doing this. So
Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. So is this
yeah,
your third wedding season, your fourth wedding season, technically, since you've gotten married?
this will be our like third and a half because we
Okay.
kind of been on like a halvesy year.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, we've already, we're well into a good bit of 2021 weddings as
Right.
well. So
Right.
we are just looking to the future.
Yeah,
It's
that's so
wonderful.
exciting. Well, I'm really excited to talk to you today about COVID and how that's affected y'all's business, but also just how you've responded to it as a business owner. And one of the reasons that I was really excited to talk to you is because you stepped towards Ryland and I in such a gracious way. And it was the day, so everything like the world shut down on Friday the 13th. And on
Yeah.
Monday, I received an email from you. And that was just so, not only was it in line with who your company is and who you are as a person, but I was so taken aback by your customer service just around and I
Mhm.
as people, but also as vendors. So I'm excited to talk to you about that
Yeah.
today. Okay, so let's dive on in. When you first heard about COVID, did you think it would affect your wedding business at all? And especially as we heard things started to unfold in like late January, early February, did you think it would affect anything for you this year?
Absolutely not. I just really didn't. Personally, I'm not a worrier about things like that. I just deal with problems as they come. I don't
Arise.
see the
Yeah.
point in worrying about them before it's an actual problem. And that's taken a long time to get to that point.
Yeah.
But we just felt more than anything that we needed to be, as always, positive, a pillar, and strong for our couples, and just keep it moving. Until this was going to become a problem, we weren't going to address it as a problem.
Right.
So when it became a problem on March 15th on Sunday at 4:00 p.m., we just jumped right in on crisis management. So, I'm not ashamed to say we didn't have a plan before then, and I know, we'll talk a little bit more about this, but because we really feel so strongly about our processes and our team and our values, we knew we would get this sorted out. We were confident in that.
Yeah.
We didn't really know what we were doing at first, but now we got it. And
but
we know
no one did. And you were not the only company that was blindsided by that Sunday afternoon, 4:00. The governor comes on and says, "Oh, hey, by the way." So for you to say that there's no shame in that, you are not alone. No one knew what their plan B was going to be that Monday morning. But that's amazing. So the call was on Sunday at 4:00, and Rylan and I got an email Monday morning, which just goes to show you how on top of it. You may not have felt like you were on top of it, but you really were. So you really led the charge, even for Rylan and I to say, it is time for us to step forward too. I just got this email from Katie Williams for a June wedding, and that could or could not be affected. And so we need to have a response ready to go to. So that's awesome. No one knew that COVID was going to affect it. Let's just be clear on that. So what was the first thing that you guys started to put together, and how did you react, or how did you respond when your brides came to you with a question, especially those early brides in the spring?
Well, we didn't wait for anybody. We just jumped right on it. That Sunday night, we were on the phone with our March 21st weddings. We had 2 weddings because those were obviously going to be impacted. And we sorted those out that evening and got a plan together so that we could work it out on Monday morning. And then we did the exact same thing for March 28th. Once we kind of figured out what we were going to do with that kind of laid the framework for what we ended up doing that whole next week. And Marian, my lead planner and my right hand and everything,
she's amazing.
She's an all-star. We probably worked from 8 a.m. till midnight every day that week, including the weekend. Even with the weddings, we did have some ceremonies that we kept for those 321 brides, but we were still cranking it out. It was the most important thing for us to contact everybody. Everybody we knew was going to be immediately impacted. So all of April, and then reaching out to May, we wanted to see how people felt, what they wanted to do, where their head was at. And we outlined with them, Marian and I just were like, what do we need to do? What is our game plan? And we put together kind of like a template for what we were going to tell all of our couples and what we were going to tell all of our vendors, so that everything was a consistent, clear message. We could keep it in order because it was like we couldn't remember if we didn't have it written down because it was just so crazy. And from that, we kind of got the hang of this whole process, and we're like, okay, if we streamline this and we keep every vendor on the same page, we're going to get this squared away. And that's what ended up happening. We were able to postpone all of our spring very quickly. We've kept our vendors, that was so important, was to keep our vendor teams and be there for our couples, and so that they didn't have to worry about this part of it because they've got other things.
They have enough on their plate.
So that's really what we did. We didn't wait for anyone to come to us. We knew if we put it out there first, people are going to feel at least that there's some control in this part of it. They might not be able to control the world right now, and they're crushed and heartbroken to postpone their wedding. They don't have to deal with the stress or the pressure of rearranging. And that first week, it was like supermarket sweep for wedding dates. Like everybody was grabbing for a new
Everyone
date.
was pulling. I know it. I
Yes.
know it.
So there was no time to kind of sit and wishy-wash back and forth. So that's why we were like, we will do this. We will take care of it. You focus on taking care of your mental health and be with your family. We'll deal with this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it worked. It worked well, and everybody's been postponed and rearranged, and we are moving forward.
Yes. Yeah. So I think you really, in hearing that, you guys really stepped forward and served everyone, not just the brides, but their families, the vendors. How did the vendors react in all of that too? Did you feel like people were very positive and flexible?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody was very positive. Everybody had that same mindset of, we are all in this as vendors together. Pretty much everyone we reached out to responded, right away, and was felt almost like they were relieved that somebody wanted to
Was
talk to
leading
them.
the charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that it didn't have to be on their shoulders to figure it out. I think through all of this, a lot of our couples and a lot of our vendors and our vendor friends have really learned a lot more about what it is a wedding planner in particular actually does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Timelines and beautiful wedding designs. That's kind of what you see, but underneath that, it's so much more. And while this is an extreme situation,
Yeah.
this is exactly what wedding planners, true professional wedding planners, are built to do.
Yes.
And we don't want our couples to feel like, okay, I have this wedding planner. Why haven't I heard from her?
Yeah.
We want our vendors to be like, well, we know, Bob and Jane have Katie Williams Events as their planners. Why haven't we heard from them yet?
Right.
So it wasn't just about making sure we took care of everybody, but we were like, this is our culture. This is what people expect from us, and we can't drop the ball here. In fact, we need to be more diligent in our communication.
Yeah.
And that's what helped, because everybody, it was like a sense of relief had washed over them that someone else was handling it.
Yeah.
And they just be a support,
Right. So when a bride contacted you and was super frazzled and kind of just didn't know which way to turn or which way to go, how did you help reassure them in a way that was positive, but also like, things could change? How did you keep that stability for them?
We believe more than anything in being honest and transparent. We don't tell people things that we think they want to hear.
Yeah.
We always approach everything with love, but we are honest with people.
Yeah.
And we did have a few instances where some couples really just were on the fence, and they were like, well, I don't know, my wedding it's in May, maybe we can still have it. And we're hopeful too. We're hopeful you could too, because we want to be there. We want to be there.
You're ready to go. Yeah.
But the reality here is that it's probably in your best interest to consider postponing. So we started it kind of as that was sort of the conversation. And then when we kind of were still going back and forth until a decision was made, we really just stuck true to our values and being honest and transparent. And we told our couples, like, listen, this is what the climate is right now. Dates are going like wildfire. If we want to get you as close as possible in a safe time frame to your current date, so you don't have to wait another year, then we need to make a decision. And just really reminded them and asked them with all the grace in the world just to trust us. Like, we have your back. We have your best interest in heart, because if we're not taking care of you, we will go down the tubes. Our business will not be open. So helping you is of the utmost importance. And once, people realize, like, okay, this is real. I'm getting real advice. This is going to impact me. They were ready to go and just released to our hands and let us handle it. And anybody that was in that situation who was kind of on the fence, they are all unanimously so relieved now. And so happy that we did that. And that just makes us happy to know that we were even a small part in that.
Yeah. Did a lot of those girls postpone or go to 2021? What did you see kind of happen there and in the like frazzling, oh my gosh, the dates are getting taken so quickly?
Everybody wanted to postpone. No one wanted to cancel their wedding.
That's
no
awesome.
one wanted to, other than the 2 March 21st and one of our March 28th, they made it to the finish line. They
Yeah.
were ready.
Yeah.
They
Yeah. Yeah.
wanted
Yeah.
to get married. But everyone else was like, you know what? No, we're going to just do it all on one day, the day we've imagined,
Mm,
and we'll postpone. And honestly,
mhm.
once everybody kind of wrapped their head around it, I think a big piece of what we did was we kind of sent them an outline of here's what this is going to look
Mm,
like, and reassured them we're still here. You know,
yeah.
when your original contract date expires with us, we're still here for you.
Yes. Yes.
We came up with our whole little postponement
Mm,
package that
mm,
was just comp services to continue planning and
yeah.
continue that relationship
Yeah.
to a new date. And I think that gave them that sense of calm that they weren't going to be like on their own.
Right. Yeah. They're not going to be left behind.
And
Exactly.
so then they were very, very happy to just let us help them with the postponement
Mm.
and just move forward. So
And it
everybody's
seems
really
like you got a lot of positive feedback
good.
once you gave your couples the like, here's what the next plans
Mhm.
are. Would you rather postpone because you led them in such a steady and calm way. And
Mhm.
then once you said like we could postpone, they already had that trust factor with you of like she's
Right.
working with me, she came to me beforehand, she has her ducks in a row. If we postpone with Katie Williams, it's not going to be that big of a deal because I can trust her to take me to the finish line even if it's on a different day.
Right.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. And I think that speaks very highly of not just how you respond in COVID, but how you've loved your bride and grooms all the way through
Yeah.
their engagement season, not just in the midst of a crisis, but from the day that they talked to you
Right.
and booked you all the way through
Right.
now, which is great.
Right.
Um, so as a small business owner, you also have a team.
Mhm.
How did this affect your team and what are the ways that you cared for your team? Because there's a lot of people who are leading the charge, not just for in a service-based company, not just for
Mhm.
their clients, but they also have people that are working and relying on them
Right.
as well.
Right. Well, more than anything, you know, our team is, I mean, it's just the heart and soul of everything we do. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
that works, you know, with Katie Williams events has the same outlook as I do as far as weddings go and serving our couples. I mean, we love weddings. Like we all cry at first dances. We cry when they go down the aisle. We
Yes.
genuinely love weddings. I
Yes.
mean, it's what we want to do day in and day out. So to keep my girls feeling like I've got your back,
Mm.
you are not going to be out a job right now.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to continue to pay our employees for all those dates that they were no longer going to have.
Mm.
We have hours, you know, we have our timeline. We know when they were going to be in and out, and they're all getting paid for those
Yeah.
dates.
Yeah.
That way, they don't feel like they had a loss.
Mm.
But in order to do that, we had to make sure that any balances owed were still coming in on time.
Okay.
So that was a big part of our like addendum that we put together for
Yeah.
our contract when
Okay.
weddings did change their date. We actually just kind of laid out a whole new service plan. We outlined here's what we're going to do for you once your original contract date expires. We have a plan of comp services to offer you.
Mm.
If you want to go past that, here's all the other options that we can talk about. But we wanted our couples to feel supported, and then we outlined as well, if you do have a balance, the original due date on those balances are
Are
still
still
in
due.
force.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only reason we did that was that way when I'm looking at our financials, I know I can still pay my team.
Mm.
I know we can keep our doors open. I know we don't have to shutter the doors and stop service,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and more than anything, it helps our couples. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have any other kind of like loans or backings or things like that. Everything that comes in goes right back out.
Yeah.
It's what takes care of us taking care of you, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Right. Right. Right.
So,
How did your couples respond to that? Like in the midst of them rearranging
yeah.
everything and you saying like, here's a plan B, here's a plan C, we
Mhm.
still need you to pay. What was their response in all of that?
Everyone was so positive. No one even questioned it. No one said
Wow.
it. No one questioned it. In fact, the only comments we got about it were like, "Of course, you know, we
Wow.
talk to you guys all the time. We need you, so
Mm.
we're not going to leave you without your payments that are due."
Wow. Wow.
And I really do think, it was a little, just like whenever you, as a business owner, up your prices a new year or
Mm,
make a change in kind of like a service level or something, you get
right, right.
scary. You're like, how are people going to respond to this?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt. I was like, how are people going to respond to this? Are they going to think, we're being insensitive? But everyone understood, no, they need to make sure that they're open for business and that they can still be here to take care of us. And
Yes,
so that was really the whole mindset and mentality behind it. Not any other reason other than we just need to keep those doors open. We need
yeah,
to keep our team intact so
yes,
that when your new date rolls around,
yes,
we're there.
yes,
And
yes, yes.
there's been no delays, no bumps in the road, no pauses.
Right, right.
Everything's moved on as usual. So it's honestly, it was the best decision
Mm,
to remember, not only are we taking care of our couples or taking care of our vendors, we also had to remember to take care of ourselves.
mm,
But we can be there for everybody
yeah,
in the way that we're expected to be there
yeah.
and the kind of culture we've built up for ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit too on like
Mhm.
taking care of yourself because
Yeah.
I know that a lot of other vendors in Greenville, but in the Southeast, really respect Katie Williams events.
Mhm.
And what would you tell other vendors who are, flexing, but also rearranging in that sense of like, this is what we did, this is what I recommend.
Yeah.
What kind of tips would you give them?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say more than anything, if you haven't reached out to your couples, whether you're a wedding planner or you're a floral designer or you're a photographer or
Yeah.
you're a stationer, whatever you're doing, reach out, communicate, let
Mm.
them know you're there for them. Even if your role maybe, isn't like super, super major on
Yes.
the wedding day, maybe you put together their welcome sign and their seating charts or something.
Yeah, 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 which is still a big part of
It's
the wedding
still a
day.
big part. You might not think it's like as impactful as like maybe the planner reaching out, but
Mm,
it is. It
yeah,
is to the couples. They want to know that the people that they've invested in
and they've
and
hired, yes, of
that
course.
they've got their backs and that they're just thinking of them. Even if there's
Mm,
not much like you can personally do right now, you're just going to move on with their new date when they choose it. They still want to know you're there and
yeah.
that you're still open for business. That
Yes,
is very
yeah, you're still breathing.
important.
Yes, yes.
And on the flip side of that, though, if there is a reason that you need to temporarily pause
Mm,
services, you got to speak up. You
yes,
can't just send out an Instagram post.
yes,
You got to reach out to people directly.
yes,
The way you treat people is the way they're going to treat you.
yes.
And what it just shows what your culture is, what your values are.
Mm,
So,
mm,
the more you can do to show people I care about you and I'm here for you, the more that they are going to be understanding about your business needs and what
mm,
you might need to shift or adjust to make this work
yes,
or postponement.
right.
Um, if you're not showing, your humanity to them, it's going to
Mm,
be very hard for a couple when they're already feeling kind of beaten down to show that back to you.
right, right, right.
So communication, be transparent. Don't be afraid to tell somebody something that maybe isn't like the best news. Like, yeah, this
Mm,
month we do have to kind of pause until we can
right,
get back on our
right,
feet. Don't
right.
be afraid of it. People want to know what's going on.
Right, right.
Uh,
Even
and
if it's like a
right.
really hard something of like, I have
Mhm.
to pause, they're at least like, okay, I at least know what's happening in this area for that
Yeah.
vendor. And
Right.
being led in that way, even if it's like, I don't have an answer quite yet, they're at least communicating.
Right. Exactly. That coupled with definitely flexibility.
Mm,
I have really learned through all of this
mm,
the big differences in being flexible are versus, just kind of doing what you want to do.
sure.
Um, does everyone want to move all their spring weddings maybe into 2021? No.
Mm, yeah.
No, we don't. We don't want to wait a whole another year to have your wedding for
Mm,
a ton of
for a
reasons.
myriad of reasons.
Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
exactly. But if you can do it and you can make something work in
Mm,
this situation, I recommend do that thing.
yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is they're asking, if you can do it.
Mm,
Not if you just don't want if you don't do or don't want to do it, but if you
right.
can make it happen for them.
Right.
That's what's going to come back and get what you're going to reap the reward from.
Mm,
A couple feels like you didn't just leave them hanging out there or that they weren't as much of a priority to you as a new booking might be. that's not going to do you any good down the
Right.
road. It's going
Right.
to do you all the favor in the world to make sure couples know that you were there for them,
Mm,
and if you could make it work, you did make it work.
right.
Um, we might not have our portfolio of spring right now, but what we do have are people that know how much we love them and care
Mm,
about them, and that is worth so much more than some beautiful pictures for a
mm.
portfolio work. We will get them at some
Yes.
point,
Yes, they will
but
happen.
right now this is more important than
It
that.
is. Yes.
And that's like just the best advice I can give. Now if you honestly can't do something,
Mm,
that's when it kind of circles back to being honest. But your flexibility that you could have there is creative problem solving. Just try to figure something out. Don't lose a couple because you just couldn't maybe think outside the box or you didn't want to.
right.
um, don't compromise your integrity, don't compromise your values, but compromise where you can, and
Yeah.
that's what's going to help.
I
That's what's going
love
to
that.
make this work.
Yes. Well, and I love that, exactly what you said. So first, this is so much more than the wedding day. It
Hmm.
is about the couple. And so if you can flex for that couple, flex wherever you can, and to
Hmm.
not say that like we're going to be a doormat, you're going to walk all over
Right.
us.
Absolutely not.
That's not what we want.
Right.
And that's not, and I don't think any of your couples or our couples would do anything like that. In fact, we've gotten more of the response of, um, we are so sorry, we need to ask for this extra little
Hmm.
bit of thing, we would be happy to pay you for it, which blows me away. And I think what you're saying is like humanity is seeing humanity, like we
Right.
are all seeing each other more as humans and
Right.
not just as service providers or vendors, which you and I have talked about before, as we are vendors. And please respect us as
Hmm.
business owners, as women, as spouses, as we're leading a family. And I just really think that a lot of this is bringing out that community of a bride is seeing us as a human. And
Yeah.
that's always a great place to be. And I also think, and you touched a little bit about this or touched on it a little bit about it, but being flexible really speaks up for your company
Hmm.
and will not burn you. What
No,
do you
it
think
won't.
about that?
It won't. It's not going to burn you. It might not be, like I said, it might not be what you always want to do in a
Right.
situation. But, in the service industry, you live in a gray area. There's no
Mm,
black and white. I mean,
mm,
maybe a few things are pretty black and white, but for the most part, we live in the gray. And I
yeah.
tell people that all the time. I tell our
Yeah.
couples that and our vendors that, a lot of times us as planners, we walk that fine line in between serving our couples and making sure our vendors feel respected. We
Mm,
live in the gray.
yes.
So wherever we can flex, that's what we do every day.
Yes.
So while this is a pandemic and this isn't anyone's cup of tea or what anyone wants to
Yes.
be doing,
Yes.
if anything, it was important to me to show people, yeah, we've always been flexible. Here's how much more we can do for you right now.
Yes.
So that when this is all said and done, you remember us and your value in us, it trickles down. It trickles
Yes.
down to other people. It trickles down to just what you think of us in general. I
Yes.
mean, your brand and your culture and your reputation is what takes you
To
to
the
the next
next.
level.
Yes. Yes.
It's
And
not
it's
just
what people
about
talk about
right. It's not
outside of
just
COVID.
about your body of work. You
Yes.
could have an amazing portfolio and have the worst client service in the world. You only make me be open for a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
Good work can only take you so far. It's how you treat people
Mm,
that makes your good work great work and
mm,
permanent work
mm,
that you can count on. And so that's really where we're coming from in all of this. We definitely don't want to encourage vendors to compromise their integrity or put themselves out of work because they said yes to too many things.
yeah.
But it's where can you be flexible? Like
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
can you do? And a lot
Yeah.
of that is creative problem solving that maybe isn't something you would normally do, but hey, it'll work for this
Yeah.
situation. My couple feels taken care of and I didn't lose a wedding. So
Yeah, yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when we are out of COVID and people will be looking up more reviews on how
mhm,
us as vendors and service-based providers responded during this time than
mhm,
in a normal time, because
right.
they're looking at our hearts of where our
Mhm,
businesses are lying, or where our hearts are lying now with our business,
yeah,
not so much like even in the past, but like
right.
how did they even survive, thrive, and love their
Mhm.
people in the midst of a crisis. And I
Right.
think our response now will accelerate our companies way beyond COVID and
Absolutely.
into the future, even if that means that like something gets postponed and we can't do it because of a certain something that was already scheduled for that day, or a bride was already booked for that day. I'm so sorry we can't help you
Mhm.
with that postponed wedding, but we'll get you another vendor, or we'll point you
Mhm.
to whoever we need to.
Yeah.
That will give you just a better all around picture of who your business is, and will bring you more business later.
Absolutely. I definitely believe that. And that's kind of why, while this whole thing at first was definitely a tough pill to swallow, and every day has maybe had its challenges,
Obviously,
you know,
yes.
and we're all real people. Like I've cried,
Yes, yes,
you
we all have cried.
you've cried. But really, that's what I have to keep reminding myself and my team. Like,
Mm,
this is gonna, what we're doing right now, it will be worth it in the end. We are doing the right thing. And I think really that kind of boils down to exactly, through all of this,
mm,
that's what we've taken away
yes,
is, exactly where we stand in our business and our convictions and what we believe in. And just really staying firm in that and not wavering, not doing something out of fear or panic,
yeah,
just being really true to what we already believed in, what we
right.
were already doing, just amplifying it right
Yes,
now.
yeah, yeah, just taking it to the next level.
Mhm.
I love that. What have you learned from this experience to make your business stronger going forward? Or what would you, if another vendor in the industry came to you and said, Katie, I just really need some advice on like how you grew from this and could help me as I think through, like, what did you say earlier? Creative problem solving. What
Yeah.
have you learned in that area?
Yeah, I mean, more than anything, I think as especially wedding vendors, because weddings are such an emotional and personal
Yes, they
experience.
are. Yes.
A lot of times, we as vendors, we can kind of get in our heads sometimes. We can play the comparison game,
Mm, yeah.
wonder, are we doing the right thing?
Mm,
Or will I ever have a wedding like that? And
mm,
you can sometimes get down on yourself a little bit.
yeah.
Through all of this, I have learned more than anything to just never doubt yourself.
Mm,
Have confidence in yourself, believe in your business and the groundwork you've laid, and go with that.
yeah.
Don't act out of fear, don't act out of panic.
Mm,
Be strong, be confident. That's what people are going to follow.
mm,
Like I said, we didn't have a plan
yeah.
at
Yeah.
first, but we were confident in what we know how to do,
Mm,
and that we know how to do it right. We know how to fix a problem.
right.
Uh, that's what we do.
Yeah.
So this was just a new problem that we
Right.
hadn't fixed
Right.
before.
There you go.
But we stayed confident. We didn't waver, even when it came down to what we needed to do to protect our business with
Mm,
our like date change addendum and our little postponement
mm,
package and our balance due dates. We didn't waver. We were like, this is what we think is the right thing to do, because everything stemmed from what is our culture. And our culture is, we take care of our couples, we take
mm,
care of our vendors. That's the reputation we've built up. I mean, I think more than anything, I think that's what people think of us first. I think then after all of that, they might think, and yeah, they put on a great wedding.
yeah.
But I hope that's what people think of us at least. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I think more than anything, the first things people think about is actually how we care for our
Mm,
couples and our
yeah.
vendors.
Yeah.
So more than anything, the best advice I can give anybody is don't lose confidence. And if
Mm,
there's something that you've identified through this whole thing that is a weakness,
mm,
fix it. Now's the
yes.
time.
Yes.
Now's the time to fix it. We don't have any weddings going on, so you
Yes.
should have the time
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
fix it.
Now's
Um,
the time.
and don't be ashamed. This is
Mm,
not anything anyone was prepared for. And we definitely found some vulnerabilities as well and
mm,
fixed them.
yeah. Yeah.
And that's now going to be a part of our culture moving forward. Hopefully this never happens again. But
Yeah. Yeah.
if something happens again, our whole team now is very well versed
Yeah.
in severe crisis
Yeah.
management.
Yeah.
Not just a regular wedding crisis like, oh my God, I forgot my shoes,
Yes. Yes.
that kind
Yes.
of crisis.
Yeah. Yeah. Which
But
happens every weekend. I know it
we always have an extra pair of shoes in our kit, in case you forget them.
does.
But yeah, so that's really the main thing I would say to somebody. Just don't lose faith in what you're doing. This is a really uncomfortable time to
Mm,
be in for everyone, but just
mm,
remember, your fellow vendors are all going through the same thing.
mm,
And just because some people, you might look at them and get back in your head, playing that comparison game. Oh, it doesn't look like they lost any
Mm,
business. Gosh, like what could I have done?
mm,
Just get back in it, reach out to your couples, figure out what you can do to help
yes,
them,
yes,
and just take this whole thing as a
yeah,
learning
yeah,
experience.
yeah,
Um, that's probably the best bit of advice I can give.
yeah,
The problem solving thing would probably be the next thing I would say is this is a
yes,
great time to hone those skills.
yes.
Earlier today I was talking to a floral designer that,
Mm,
you know, I just adore and love. And we were kind of talking through a postponement and what we could do to honor, her current rates, even though it was going to be postponed till
sure.
next year.
Till
And
2021.
we sat on the phone. We were only on the phone for maybe 15 minutes, but we brainstormed and we came up with what we think would work
Mm,
for this couple. And I could even hear on the phone that she just felt like, okay, yeah, that's okay, thanks. Like, I'm so glad I
mm,
reached out and made this call.
yeah.
And, that might be something pre-COVID we were all a little uncomfortable with,
Mm,
reaching out and asking for help.
yeah.
And I hope that this is something people take away now. Reach
Mm,
out, ask for help. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid.
mm,
And, you know, we're all figuring this out too. I think you might be surprised how much you have in common with your fellow
yes,
vendors now
yes,
and how there's less differences than you think we might
yes.
actually have between us.
Yes, yeah. I love that you hit on that because I actually have felt that a little bit in the social media world of like we're stronger
Mhm.
together, which sounds so cheesy, but really what I think it is that like community really trumps competition,
Yeah.
and that even just you getting on the phone with a florist for 15 minutes unites the trust
Mhm.
in the community, and then you're able to say like I know this florist's heart. I know where she's coming from.
Mhm.
Even if we don't work for each other for another year or whatever,
Mhm.
that community and that trust is being built. And I think that, again, you hit the nail on the head with we're all facing the same problems. And if you have a question, most likely someone else does too. And
Right.
they are thinking through it. And so, why waste time just kind of fertling about and trying to figure it out on your own when you could pick up the phone and call someone and say,
Yeah.
hey, have you thought through this yet? Or if you haven't, can we think through it together?
Mhm.
Um, and since we're not in each other's like worlds anymore, seeing each other, just even that like human interaction,
Yes.
like even just seeing you today is like filling my cup because
Yeah,
I've just seen my family all day. And
exactly.
so why not pick up the phone or do a quick Skype or whatever just to talk to another fellow vendor?
Yeah.
Um, I think that's also great. Is there anything else you've learned or anything that's like a quick tip takeaway?
Um, I think I would say to probably any of the couples that are going through this,
Mm,
trust the team you've put in place.
yes.
You
Trust your
know,
vendors for sure.
trust your vendors. And if you haven't heard from a vendor, reach out to them
Yes.
and remember, there might be a reason they haven't reached out yet,
Yeah.
and have a little grace. Just know that the people love you and want
Mm,
to take care of you.
yes.
And we're all just trying to figure this out.
Mm,
If you feel like you're in a rut and like you're trying to pick a new date and maybe you don't have a planner or a coordinator, you're trying to do this all on your own, really lean into your vendors because
mm,
they are going to help you. And if you feel like you do need additional help, reach out to a planner or a coordinator, just somebody who has that skill set that can
yes.
help you,
Yes.
because they want to help you.
Yeah.
And as far as if you feel like you can't pick a new date and you're running out of time and you're feeling that panic and that pressure, you're not in it alone. And that's why
Mm,
reaching out to your vendors is the most
yeah.
important thing you can do. And when you reach out to them, the second part of that is you got to trust them and
Yes.
they're going to guide you.
Yeah.
Um, they want the best thing for you because what's best for you is ultimately best for all of our businesses, and our businesses as small business owners is what takes care of our families,
Yes.
our loved ones. And
Yes.
so every piece of your wedding is personally important to us, not just from a business standpoint.
Mhm.
So that's probably the only other piece of advice I can give is
Awesome.
just lean into your vendors, trust that they love you and
Yes.
that they want to help you. Um, and if you're running into any problems, you can definitely reach out and reach out to a planner or a coordinator, or if you just have a quick question, shoot us a message.
Yeah.
We're happy to offer some guidance. We have done that. We have seen
Mm,
people that are not our our couples,
Your own clients. I love that.
posting polls. Should I postpone my date to a Sunday? Would you come? And we have reached out and said, if you're still trying to consider postponing, you need to do it. And here's how.
Here's how you do it.
And, because we just don't want to see anybody feel
crushed. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you're reaching out to people who are not even your own clients. That makes me so happy, and I think reveals more of your heart of all of this. So, Katie, where can people find you? What is your website? What is your Instagram handle? All that good stuff.
Our website and our Instagram are very easy. It's katiewilliamsevents.com and @KatieWilliamsEvents. And
Awesome.
That's how you can find us on Facebook as well.
Perfect.
We are very active on our Instagram.
Yeah.
We answer our messages. We share, and we are all about that community and that love.
Y'all do a great job.
So that's the quickest way to find us. But we are all about responding back on our emails as quickly as we possibly can. So you can always shoot us an email as well.
Perfect.
So that's all I got on COVID.
That's awesome. Well, I hope to have you back to explain more things. This has been wonderful. Thank you, Katie, so much for your time. It was so good to talk to you today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. See you soon.
Right. Okay, bye.
Bye.